One of my batteries developed the dreaded split tab fault, common with the Mini 3 and Mini 4 Pro batteries. So I bought a replacement shell and decided to try and replace it myself. So what I did was first I wanted to make sure I knew what it looked like on the inside, so I didn't tear or rip anything on disassembly. So I broke off one of the tabs so I could peer inside with the camera phone and have a good look. And then I started to prise the external enclosure off. Now, you want to be really careful here, and there's no way you're going to pull it apart in one piece. So basically I decided to just gently tear and rip the enclosure away from the battery, being careful not to distort the battery or damage anything. Also, while extracting the case from the battery, be careful not to tear or crease the label, the battery information label on the back, because you can use that later. So glued spots is the battery to the bottom of the shell, and these two little points here that just hold the circuit board in place. I decided to just reuse the glue on the bottom of the battery. I figured that would provide enough purchase. And of course also reuse the spacers, which you'll see later. Here I'm just inspecting everything, making sure I haven't done any damage. Okay, now we're going to install it in the new shell, and we want to be careful with placement. You need to ensure the black connector is pushed all the way through and clips into place and is flush, which I'll show you in later pictures, to ensure that it will contact correctly when you put it in the drone or charger. Okay, and here's the spacers. Remove those from the old shell and glue them into the new shell. They just help support the battery along with the glue. And there's our black connector. If you gently use an X-Acto knife or similar to lift the edge of the label, you can peel the whole thing off without it ripping, and the glue remains intact and it sticks onto the new case quite nicely. Okay, now before you clip it together, because once you clip it together, you're going to break the tabs if you try and separate it again, so you really need to get it right first time. So have a good inspection of the clips, their placement. In particular, this part here, this little channel holds the circuit board in position, and that'll help ensure it doesn't get pushed back inside, that connector doesn't get pushed back inside the case when you attempt to use it. There's also a connector here at the back, a tab that clicks into place, and then this 3 along each side, or 4 actually, I think. Yeah, 4. So those all have to click into place. And you start at the back where the circuit board and connector is to make sure you get that channel lined up with the circuit board. This is probably one of the most crucial parts of the whole refit. You want to make sure that that black connector is entirely flush with the white part of the case. If it's not, you're going to have trouble getting a good connection when you put the battery in the dock or in the drone. It needs to be 100% flush. And here we go, seeing if it fits. Now with this battery case, I found that you have to force it in a little, put a bit of pressure on it to get the tabs to click into place. Which is not ideal, but it's better than it being loose. So when you install a battery, you just have to make sure you click it in properly, like that. Now we're just testing it with the electricity connected. And this battery was fully charged. So it's hard to say for sure it's charging or not, but it is registering. Now fitting it in the drone. And I found here, same thing as with the dock, you had to use a little bit of pressure to get it to click into place and for those tabs to pop out and lock it into place. There we see they're fully popped out. And the final step was to install these labels, just to remind myself that this is a non-plus battery, not the plus battery. So the non-plus batteries retain the drone at 249 grams, whereas the plus batteries put it over 249 grams.